Why? Why not wine? This is a tough subject for me because this is my first real project. And I created this project to be different. We want to be a reason why not to whine, why not to complain, why to see the world in a better light. There's a lot of gloom in this world, and we want to be the one place where you can truly come and talk to us and listen to us and always know that it's going to be a good time. That's our mission. That's what we truly stand for. Why Not Wine is created to be something that you can trust. I created Why Not Wine to be different from the mainstream media and these other late night talk show hosts. We don't want to be like them. We want to be something new, something true, something genuine. And honestly, I love that about us. So this is why not to whine. We want to show you, we want to give you a real reason why not whine. And also, we want to promote a message that just tells people to just shut the fuck up, man. Like, why does everybody whine and complain and talk and fucking talk, man? I'm fucking done with this shit. Show's over.
Three, two, one.
Welcome. I'm your host, John the Don. Don't say the John if you ain't seen it twice, and if you ain't seen the Don, you ain't seen it right. And this is your first episode of Why Not Why. What the fuck? On this first episode, we're going to be talking about Jussie Smollett. Now, for those of you who don't know, Jussie Smollett is a piece of trash. So, Jussie Smollett. Now, for those of you who don't know, Jussie Smollett, actor on the Empire, on January 22nd, 2019, he goes and to Subway, says he's coming back from Subway's. I don't know where he's going. I don't know if he's walking home or going to his car, but gets intercepted by two Trump supporters who he claimed to have beat him up, poured bleach on him, and had a noose tied around his neck. In all actuality, what really happened is that these two Trump supporters never existed. What really happened is that he paid two former actors on the Empire. They played as prisoners, $3,500 to go beat him up. Now, what I'm thinking here is, why do you gotta pay somebody to go beat you up? I know a ton of people that would beat me up for free. There's like literally a line of people waiting to go beat me up for free. I ask anybody, yo, would you beat me up? It's a no-brainer. Okay, so literally, I don't know why he paid them that much, but like, to have such a face that you have to pay for people to beat you up, that's a face right there. That's a face to remember. So the media's coverage on this was absolutely horrible. We have a montage of how bad the media's coverage is. The amount of shit, of praise that he gets by the media is absolutely ridiculous, okay? He was painted as a saint, as a martyr, as the modern day Rosa Parks. Okay, we gotta stop. Okay, here, just watch.
Beaten with a noose around his neck and hospitalized. Empire star Jussie Smollett was the victim of a vicious, racist, and homophobic attack.
His attackers hurled racial and homophobic slurs.
2 people yelled racist and homophobic slurs.
Racial and homophobic slurs.
Not only homophobia, we're talking about racism. We're talking about hate with steroids.
They are looking for 2 suspects who were apparently wearing Make America Great Again hats.
The offenders uttered, "This is MAGA country."
The hate crime went down early this morning in Chicago.
Officials are investigating the alleged assault as a hate crime.
And now police say they're investigating this as a possible hate crime.
Anyone attacked in a hate crime like this is an outrage.
This is stomach-turning, mind-boggling information. It's out of control.
Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi tweeting the racist, homophobic attack on Jussie Smollett is an affront to our humanity.
And Senator Cory Booker said the vicious attack on actor Jussie was an attempted modern-day lynching.
Kamala Harris calling the attack an attempted modern-day lynching.
But I'm so shaken by the story. This is horrible to report. This is a horrible story. This is a horrible story.
Yeah. I mean, the circumstances are just horrific.
Horrendous and unacceptable.
Absolutely despicable.
Yeah, a lot of people can't believe this is actually happening in 2019.
It's hard to believe that we're reporting, that we're even saying words like this in 2019.
And this is America.
Now, I understand that the media's coverage was horrible, but, I don't blame Jussie Smollett and the media 100%. Because the root of this goes back to society, okay? It goes back to this societal ideology of victimhood. All right, when we live in a society that the most victimized person is on the top of the food chain and the least victimized person is, not the least, but the person who's the most successful is on the bottom of the food chain, the society doesn't really make sense in that you aspire to be the worst. Because if you want to get to the top, that literally means you have to be the worst. You have to be the most victimized to get to the top, okay? Instead of the person who works the hardest. So on the top right now is a person who is a black trans woman on the top of the food chain, and on the bottom of the food chain is your average white guy. I don't agree with that ideology at all, okay? But this is the ideology that a lot of the progressives and the social justice warriors and the feminists are trying to promote. And this is a very, very ridiculous and obscure ideology. It makes the left look bad. It makes them look stupid. And it makes the media gullible. In that the most victimized person is always right. Okay? That's what they believe. Now, if you ask someone who's in the far left of the spectrum, just like I said, the victimized person is always right. However, if you ask a person who's in the far right of the spectrum, in a racial encounter, the most victimized party is always wrong. It's always a hoax. There's no such thing as racism. I don't want to go as far as to say that there's no such thing as racism. However, from the 1960s to now, the United States has come a long way. And if you can't agree to that, then you're delusional. All right? So I will concede that there is racism still in this country, and I don't think it will never disappear. I don't think racism will completely ever disappear. But in all honesty, though, if I have to say, I think it's the best it's going to get. Just my opinion. Because it's not that bad. It's bad, it shouldn't happen, but, and you see, it may get a little better, but I think we're at the point where it's as good as it's going to get. However, this victimized ideology, this far left ideology, it distracts us from the truth. The truth is in the middle. It's always in the middle. You need both sides to come to the truth. But we have to come to a truth. The media, who gives us our news, needs to come to the truth. They need to start reporting the truth. The truth of the matter is, Jussie Smollett lied. America isn't a racist country. Just because there is some racism doesn't mean it's a racist country. Just because you did a bad thing doesn't mean you're a bad guy. And we have to attack both sides. We have to attack the right, the far right ideology when racism does occur. However, we have to be able to also attack the far left ideology when racism does not occur.
Right over here. You can come and get me if you want.
But we need to attack. And we have to attack the party at fault. If we are able to do that, then we have found the truth. Right now, the truth is that racism did not happen. Yet nobody in the mainstream media is willing to defend the truth. Instead of promoting the truth, wisdom, or what really happened, here's how CNN decides to report what happened with Jussie Smollett.
In such a short period of time.
Yeah, I think honestly this story is getting a little bit too much attention. I know that it's, has all the elements of television and clickbait and things that we love, but I feel like, there was a member of the United States government who had a stockpile of weapons that was ready to attack, some of our colleagues and people we know and people on Capitol Hill. And here we are talking about Jussie Smollett. I know there were a lot of people who thought the story sounded strange when it first happened, despite all this, public declarations of support. And people are asking politicians about it. And it feels a little bit misguided at this point that it has all of our attention. I think, it almost feels like this pendulum to swing, like, oh, we're so sorry, MAGA supporters, that, we falsely identified these people. And, there are a lot of evidence of violent incidents that happen at these MAGA rallies. And I just don't want to get, have Jussie Smollett distract from that. I mean, a few weeks ago, a cameraman was attacked at a BBC rally support. In 2016, remember the older white gentleman punched the young black kid who was there protesting. They had to call off a MAGA rally in Chicago. And so when we have all of this attention on Jussie Smollett, it almost feels like there's this effort to extend this mea culpa to people who are, in fact, saying very deplorable and...
Now, do you see what I'm talking about here? How they can't even acknowledge that they're wrong? That they're so engaged, so diluted in their ideology that they can't even state that Jussie Smollett is a bad guy. You have to be able to say Jussie Smollett bad, Trump supporter, maybe not so bad. In this particular case, right now, you have to give props. You have to say sorry to Trump supporters for lying to them and spewing and spewing their name. At the same time, you also have to condone Jussie Smollett. They don't even condone Jussie Smollett. They just go back to their ideology. This is a lack of decency that the media showed, and they showed that their bias is to a max. Okay? Because at this point, if you can't condone Jussie Smollett, then the bias is through the roof. There's no saving you. Okay? If we can't sit down and agree that what Jussie Smollett was bad, and that if you can't even report that what Jussie Smollett was bad, you shouldn't be a news station, okay? You're so biased at this point, it's ridiculous. Now, again, I want to reiterate one thing. That the Jussie Smollett situation is due to the societal ideology of intersectionality. Without this ideology of intersectionality, Jussie Smollett is a nobody. He's nothing. He wouldn't have done it. He wouldn't even have tried to do it because there's no point to it. But you see, and they're saying that there's 16 times that he has committed fraud. in order to climb up the victimhood ladder. When you have this victimhood ladder to begin with, it's not good. Because it shows you that a young black man in America can only gain success, not through hard work, but through increasing his victimhood, his victimhoodness, if I may say. This ideology, which I'm going to call victimology, is wrong. It doesn't make sense. There's too many loopholes to justify this argument. We have to be able to see that this is wrong. And we have to go back to when we used to promote people who worked hard. You know, instead of wanting to be more like Jussie Smollett or the most victimized person in the country, we should want to be more like the most successful people in the country. Should be our role models. This is who we should be aspiring to be. This is where the youth should strive for. And instead, we sit there and complain and whine like Jussie Smollett to the point that we're so delusional that we literally have to pay people to beat us up. All right? To the point that we're so lost in the world that we forget to forget our subway when we get beat up. All right? What do I mean? Say you're getting beat up right now, police poured on you, noose tied around your neck. Do you remember to bring the subway? You went to Subway, you had a Subway bag. Somebody does all this shit to you. Why do you have the Subway in your hand? All right? Now, I don't know if they tied the noose and then let him go, or if they tied the noose and dragged him around the street and then let him go, but in that situation, you forget the Subway bag. In either situation, you forget the Subway bag, you run right to the authorities. You sprint to the police station. However, he doesn't. And this leads me to my next thought. Is it a black thing or is it a gay thing to like Subway that much? Because that motherfucker really likes Subway, man. Really, really likes Subway. Now, I'm kind of black, I think. But I got a real black guy for you. Camera guy Chris, right behind you. What do you think about the whole situation?
And next, we're gonna have our special guest, Alex Jones, come in.
John, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, I got a little choked up here. I'm telling you, they've got teams of these guys. They've got teams of these fuckers in LA, California, and they're taking groups of them taking hardcore drugs, and they're in their underground base making intergalactic deals with alien cyborgs.
Alex, who is they?
It's the breakaway governments, the breakaway civilizations from the CIA and NASA, the breakaway civilizations. I'm telling you, they're taking the babies and they're killing them. They're killing them, Jonathan.
Babies?
They're killing them. I can't tell you everything, but
what can you tell me?
Listen, I know people. They're growing up with big neck, small airway. Every night is a DMT trip. I don't mean to sound cocky or nothing. I've seen it all.
Alex Jones, everyone.
All these people, man, always fucking whining, man. Fuck, man.
Alright guys, this is the interview section of Why Not Whine. Today we have music guy Ryan as a guest. He's going to be part of the show. So, let's get to it. Music guy Ryan.
Yeah.
What do you do as a job?
My job is a paramedic. I'm audio workstation. Okay. So basically where you make your music on. And so I learned a little bit there back when I was like in middle school, and then I've always been into rock. I always felt like I had a very broad amount of music that I liked, a lot of different genres, different variety and stuff like that. But I was really into rock, and a lot of many people were into rock. So I met Jonathan Ramos in EMT school, and he was into rock. I knew this because we were at the gym, and he was playing rock. And I was like, oh, is that? I don't remember which band, but it was a band that I recognized. He's like, oh shit! So then we ended up like next day like showing each other music and stuff, and he told me he played the guitar. So then he got me. He's like, bro, I'll teach you how to play the guitar. And then like he kind of just clicked with me. I was like, why have I not been doing music for like my entire life? I love music. And then I just learned a few songs from him, used your guitar, and now I'm just, you know.
So how long have you been playing music?
Between 1 and 2 years. I don't know exactly.
So in a musical standpoint, that isn't a lot of time.
No.
You're still kind of a baby. This is like medium in Guitar Hero.
Hard. It's hard in Guitar Hero. It's not expert though.
Okay. But you're still producing a project, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So I'm still working on a project. I wanna as of right now, what I have in mind is I want to release a single that has nothing to do with the project.
Okay.
And then I want to release an album or an EP.
No, I talked to you previously about this. Your project, you still want it to be mostly solo, or are you open-minded to having a group?
I am open-minded to having a group, but I'm also, in fact, I would love to have a group, but because of the fact that, you know, it's a little hard for me, especially in starting out stages, to get someone or get people who are on board with my vision and what I want, or what type of music I want to make, stuff like that. And since that's so complicated and there's not that many people out there that want to be doing that, I'm also kind of intrigued with the fact that I can make my own project and album by myself, everything.
But it's a lot of work, and I've seen you try to finish this one song.
Yeah, just a
and
song.
It is an enormous amount of work to do with one person.
Yeah, it's not even close to done what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like, is it even reasonable to do a solo project? Like, have you seen anybody do this?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that there's no, like, it's not like if I need to finish my music right now.
Yeah.
It's kind of like there's no deadline. No one's waiting for my music. The same way, you know, I have to go and find people. It's not like there's people waiting on me right now. I have all the time in the world and, you know, all the inspiration in the world. And I'm going to try to get all the inspiration.
Because, like, what people don't understand is, like, it's like not like rap where you just need to make the rap song and then have the beats over it. You have to do the drums, the singing, the lyrics, the guitar.
Yeah, in terms of, like, mechanically, like recording a rap and how meticulous you need to be on it, and the different things that, so recording, the mixing of the recording of the rap, and the beat itself, all of that is in terms of, like, time and difficulty, in terms of editing or mixing or recording in general, not even like, oh, I'm a good rapper. It's like, if I were to make a rap song, I don't know if it would, you know, maybe you don't like my voice, you don't like the way I rap, but I can make a functional rap song pretty freaking easily with the whole beat and everything.
I think you would have done at least 5 rap songs by now if you just decided to be a rapper.
But compared to, like, you know, having to do live recordings, singing is a lot more meticulous and sensitive, and the genre that I'm doing is pushing boundaries not only in sound or frequencies, but also like in emotion. You know, it's supposed to be, you know, really heavy, you know, epic, and all those things require a lot of meticulous work.
All right. So now you're not only a musician. You said before that you are also a paramedic.
Yeah, I'm a paramedic.
So what inspired you to be a paramedic?
So originally, I just kind of wanted something to do that was easy. I didn't want to have to go through that much school to get a job right away. I was like, oh, I'll do EMT, paramedic, become a firefighter. But after like my first after orientation, it clicked with me, just like playing the guitar clicked with me. I was kind of like, this is awesome. Like, I love this job because what I was learning is things that I've already been interested in and researching on my own time because of my previous interest in fitness and Live Nation and research of supplements and science that I would go super in depth with all that stuff, and I was interested in that stuff. And then when I went to EMT, I was like, oh my god, they're talking about this stuff. I like this. And now I'm into medicine. I'm about to finish critical care.
What is your favorite thing about being a paramedic?
My favorite thing about being a paramedic is the job environment. I like that it feels a little bit like the Wild West. I would say it's desirable and beneficial for those people, one, to go out and get work experience, life experience, dealing with people and situations and stress and being able to overcome it and adapt for people like that. And it's also be great for them because it's not that long time and it's not about, oh, that's it, you're done. It's kind of like like I said for me, it opens doors. So for someone who wants to do doesn't want to do a 4-year degree, they're deciding, I want to do this in the beginning of 4 years. Then towards the end, which we know a lot of our friends, they don't want to do this, and they decide to do this, and then they end up not liking this.
Yeah.
What's awesome about paramedic is this is what you're doing. It's a year, and there's no extra classes you need to take. You take the paramedic course, and now you're a paramedic. You get a feel for that, but you're not married to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just a year. You can do other things with it. You can get multiple different jobs within medicine. Now, let's say you don't want to go medicine route, no problem. Go back and go to school.
That's an interesting thing because a big problem that I have with college is that you're expecting an 18-year-old to pick a major, and they're 18, they're still young. They don't really know what they want to do.
Your brain doesn't stop developing in terms of the reasoning. I think it's 21.
Yeah, I heard the same thing.
21, something like that. That your brain, the last part of your brain that develops, like in terms of the developing stage, is the part that develops reasoning.
Yeah.
And that ends at 21. So you're making a decision for your life. 18, a little premature.
Yeah.
And then you have to go 4 years within that. How many people change their this and that? And then they have a deadline. Now I need to decide, at 20, 21, even if you're at 21, you still don't know.
And you're accumulating all this debt.
And you're not even in the field yet. So you don't even know if you're like, that's why paramedic's awesome. You start a paramedic, you get rides. I'm at a hospital getting IVs. I'm on a rescue truck doing 911 calls, doing CPR, like on a real person. Someone just died in front of you. Those are different things that you get to see it, in school. And CEO, is this for me? Will I be able to stomach this? Do I like this? Is this rewarding? Is this my thing? Those are all things you can do during school, and it's only a year, and it opens more doors for you, more opportunities for you to do within that field.
Now, as a paramedic, because this is a real hot topic, this late term / post term abortion, as a paramedic, can you explain how this isn't a developed child? Because you can, in the 3rd trimester, you could technically give birth to this baby.
So you can give birth to a baby that's like in 22 weeks.
So this doesn't make sense. This is a baby, technically.
No, yeah.
It's
not only immoral, because killing's wrong.
Yes.
Killing's wrong. I think that's a universal thing that we know. Killing is wrong. Now, people like to say, "Oh, it's not a baby." Well, I mean, if it can be alive, then it's definitely a baby. It doesn't have maybe a conscious thought that it can voice to you, but it's still a living human being. And by you saying, "Oh, it's a fork in the road," or "Oh, it's going to change my life," or "The baby's going to grow up with poverty," or stuff like that, it's like at the end of the day, you're not giving that person a chance to make that decision. You're making that decision for them the same way you would make that decision for them when you kill someone. Hey, that's it. You have no more time left in this world. I'm going to kill you. And that's the same thing you're saying to a baby. Like, hey, sorry, but you're not going to have any life.
And I don't agree with for people who agree with the abortion for 1st trimester as well, but I can understand their argument. That it's a woman's choice and blah, blah. I don't agree with it.
Because the baby's barely developed, but at the same time, it's still the same concept, and I'm still against it, but I can understand the argument.
Yeah, and they scientifically shown it doesn't feel pain, and that makes people feel better. But at this point, they do feel pain. They could be alive. They have a heartbeat. They have a nervous system. They're almost completely developed. So I can't understand the logic.
There is no logic. It's just rubbish. It's just what people want to shove down your throat. Hey, for whatever reason, we want this because we were fucking stupid and we.
Why are these positive? Because I see that I read the study. 18 or 19% of Americans agree. So the rest of Americans, about 80% of Americans, don't agree with late-term abortion. Thank God. But why are they still pushing it? What is their agenda? What's the motive? Is it really a woman's choice? Because I feel like it's cruel. You had 6 months prior to this to abort the baby, and now on the last 3 months, you change your mind.
Fucking admit they're fucking killing already more kids, so you're telling me it isn't real when they had a fucking vote in the goddamn... generating that much power.
Well, there's got to be some sort of incentive for the people that are pushing it. The same way, you know, if I think about it, you're a politician, and you know you may have a reason, you know, morally or like whatever within you. Hey, I want to be a politician because X, Y, and Z. At the end of the day, is you're a businessman and you need to push your agenda and what it is that you want to get done. Whatever's in, but why would you do that? Because it benefits you. The same way the market works, everything is the incentive is profit, is gain. And the same thing for politicians. So if politicians or a side of the political scheme is pushing that, then it's that's somewhere along the line for their gain. And I don't know what it is.
No, I actually do think, though.
Maybe population control.
But I do think, though, that this argument, this late-term abortion, is making people turn more pro-life. I do think that because scientists, like scientifically speaking, pro-life people have an argument here in that it's a life.
Yeah,
technically speaking,
like we have recorded births, you know, under weeks before that this baby is being terminated, aborted, and the post-birth abortion, that's like you, it's lacking brain cells. There's no such thing as a post-birth abortion. It's murder. You're killing a live baby.
Yeah, the Louisiana senator said, or governor said that it was going. He wanted to leave it up to the physicians and the mother. But I don't see it like I don't see how a physician could advocate murder at this point.
No, that has to be for his gain.
I guess yes, because he can charge the person for that abortion. They can charge for the abortion. It's money in their pocket. Now, politically speaking, as a paramedic, you do in Miami. No, you're in Hialeah, right?
Well, yeah. I jumped out from Miami, Hialeah. I'm going to be jumping into Broward as well. And Homestead.
So from right now, what you've seen, do paramedics tend to be leaning more right or more left?
Right.
Right.
And people in EMS in general, whether it's, you know, the emergency department or a firefighter or just a paramedic or EMT that's an ambulance company, most of them that I've encountered are conservative.
Because one big thing that I didn't realize going into college is that how left the universities have become.
It's almost disgusting.
Yes.
It's like, it's not even like, hey, we're Democrats. It's like, hey, we are this weird cult and you need to be a part of it, and if you're not, we hate you.
And you see it leaking into the curriculum, you know, whereas some questions you can see them trying to lean toward the left point of view, whereas I would rather it be an unbiased argument.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Yeah, like it's not that, you know, I have a problem with people on the left or people on the left that are in college. It's that the majority of them want to shove it down your throat, and they don't want to be neutral, and they have a bias. And it's hard to have an argument or talk to someone about a subject productively when they have such a strong bias. You can have a bias. Everyone has biases, but it's like for your bias to be so loud. Does that make sense? Like for you to be so like, no, it doesn't matter. No, you're stupid, and then they start arguing you with things that don't even make sense. They don't even know how to A plus B equals C. That's why A, you know, is half of C. Whatever the fuck. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't add up in terms of their argument. This is this. That's why this. It's like saying, well, watermelons in the inside are red. That's why waffles taste good. That doesn't make any sense, but they'll say something like that.
Yes, and they correlate things.
There's no correlation to what they're saying. To a lot of people, you know, there's different people. There's a lot of different people on campuses, I'm sure, are level-headed and unbiased. But from what my encounters, from what I've seen when I was at FIU or when I go and I visit other campuses, I do see that bias.
Okay. Thanks so much, Ryan.
That's it.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Stay tuned for more. Thank you so much for watching my video. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. This is my first project, my first YouTube channel, my first everything. So I've been working really hard with the editing and putting in the jokes. So I really do hope you enjoyed it. If not, leave us a comment. Tell us what we could do better. Tell us what you would want to see. If you did, please subscribe. Look, this is for you guys, all right? So communicate with us. Tell us, be honest with us, all right? It's only going to help us. So please let us know and have a great weekend. I'll see you guys next week. I'm your host, John the Don. Don't say the John if you ain't saying it twice. If you ain't saying the Don, you ain't saying it right. And this is Why Not Why. The fuck? Yo, that's
You weren't expecting it!